Thank you so much for such a warm introduction, Iona. It's really great to be here. My name is Tatenda Murigo. I am based in Harare, Zimbabwe, and I am one of the research conference organizers for the Youth STEM Matters Research Conference 2022. The journey to this day has been exhilarating with a lot of learning moments, team building, and engaging opportunities to connect with like minded scientists across the globe. It's been great to see all our hard work come to life. We will now be moving on to our next speaker, a very special one for that matter, given that we're both from the same country. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Blessed Kuchkauripo, a remarkable young scientist who is very much intrigued by science, mechanical engineering especially. He strives to improve energy in his community and better energy sustainability around the world. In 2022, Blessed was a finalist in Zimbabwe Science Fair and recently, alongside his teammate, represented Zimbabwe at the Terra International Student Science and Engineering Fair, where he won an award in the Special Awards category for their project, The Electric Step. Blessed's hobbies and skills include playing tennis, music, drumming and singing, pencil art, and poetry writing. And he will be talking to us about youth in research and innovation. To all our attendees currently present, please note that this session will be in a Q&A format. So if you have any questions for Blessed, just add them to the chat and we'll answer as many as we can. Blessed, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Pleasure to be.
Awesome. Let's start with your journey through mechanical engineering. What influenced you to enter into this field and how did it impact your view on innovation?
Well, since I was in grade 8, that's when I started really getting interested in science. So I joined the Science and Technology Club, and then I just tried many various things, just trying with my team and my teachers, just trying new things, trying to make projects, trying to enter science fairs. So I really fell in love with the side of physics and mathematics. So yeah, that was just the starting point, and then I fell in love with robotics. So that's basically what I really fell in love with, and I just started making projects along those lines.
Great. Please talk us more through robotics and just the general scope of mechanical engineering for any of our attendees who would love to know more about this field.
All right. So basically, mechanical engineering involves physics and mathematics. So this is the basic concepts on a basic level. That's those guys who make those things use, especially gadgets or even the robots that we now use in nowadays. So that's the basic. That's on a basic level. And then there's also the industrial level where people are now making mechanical structures that can actually lift things, that can actually help that can actually assist others. So those are industrial level robots that can actually make cars and make many different things, refrigerators. So that's it. And robotics, and I'm part of the Zimbabwe robotics team at the moment. So basically we just go to competitions and just have fun whilst solving those problems.
Now, that's so amazing, Blessed. And, just on the whole topic of industrialization, mentioned previously that we're both from the same country. And looking at the Southern African region, how would you view your position in kind of progressing and promoting industrialization through mechanical engineering and supporting the local community?
Well, I'd say I'm still at the developing level, and I'd say that I haven't done much. In my mind, I might think that I've done so much, but then I haven't done so much to help the entire neighborhood or the entire country. So that's what I'm striving for, just trying to push for that, and also raise awareness and tell other young people like me what the science field has for them, and just bringing the interest in them as well. So yes, I'm just trying to impact other kids and other young people like me, so that we can all try to move and try to evolve with the future, because the future is drastically expanding and evolving every day. So if we actually work hand in hand with other students and tell them what's happening, then we can actually produce something.
That's very true. And especially on the youth and the future working together to bring that change. Just following up on that question, who would you say would has been your biggest mentor or kind of someone who has been your role model in your journey through everything so far?
Well, I actually have two role models. That's my granddad and Strive Masiwa is really known in Zimbabwe, prominent businessman and who's really someone who's really pushing for the future. For the future in Africa and trying to raise awareness about what's really happening so that to those people who don't know what's happening. So and also my granddad has always been supporting me. So he's my role model. Is a retired firefighter. So yes, he's just been pushing me and telling me that I can achieve whatever I want.
No, that's amazing and really inspiring. And, just having people in our lives that are close to us and give us that impact that we need to push forward is something that we definitely need to grow as people. And even having peer reviews and having kind of peer mentoring is something that's really great. Now, moving on to something that was more peer based, the electric step. Talk to us. What was it about and what were the most challenging parts of the journey?
Okay, so the electric step, it's based on piezoelectricity. So there's some type of particles that when they go under mechanical stress or they go under a certain force, they produce a certain voltage. So we took advantage of this, and we want to implement clean energy and also decarbonizing. So I worked on this specific project with my partner, and we're trying to decrease the issues of lack of electricity in the rurals and even in the suburbs, and then also try to help students find time to study and also try to help them with the whole electricity thing. So basically, the electric step is it's a sort of a tile that generates electricity where once someone has stepped on the tile. So we have piezoelectric cells. These piezoelectric cells, they're the ones that will be fitted beneath the tile. And then as soon as they go under mechanical force or mechanical stress, they produce electricity, which is stored in a lithium ion battery. So a company has tried to do this. That's where we actually got the idea. But then we looked at it and we looked at the cons and the disadvantages of the whole thing they had made. So we're saying our the electric step it's based on it's a 3D printed tile. So that means we are actually using material that we can actually find easily, that we can actually make ourselves, and by using certain types of material that can be 3D printed, and they're actually biodegradable. So this was one major advantage and looking at that, and also the issue of Internet of Things. So Internet of Things, we're looking at uh, the the pressure sensors fitted beneath. So these pressure sensors, they can actually show us the amount of pressure that has been exerted on the tile, and then we actually record that the we have recorded this certain voltage because of this certain pressure. And also we're talking about industrialization. Looking at industrialization, that's when we have cameras fitted so that the issue of vandalism can be, we can actually slow down the issue of vandalism and actually keep a close watch on what's happening. And then what has been the major challenge? It's been the first challenge would actually be making people believe that that's something that can actually work. So, someone can actually see it working, but then they don't believe that this is something that we can actually use in the present and in the future. So that has been the major challenge, and also the issue of resources, trying to fund ourselves and trying to make the electric step and buying some components. That has been the major challenge. But then I also got help from mentors and even support from my parents. So we made it possible. So at the moment, I'm at the developing stage, developing the electric step. It's not out there yet, but it's still being developed and seeing what are the advantages and what are the things you can implement and make this possible for everyone.
No, that's amazing. We're definitely looking forward to see the development stages just going forward and progressing. And just a reminder to all our attendees, if you have any questions for Blessed, please feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll be sure to answer as many as we can. Now, just segueing on to the topic that you mentioned about belief and kind of getting people to adopt into new systems. We know that with the bridge of technology and how things are going into our community, it's really hard for people to adapt these things and really find a trustworthy belief in them, especially in areas where industrialization has not really taken foot. So, what my question would be on this would be, how do we encourage the community to embrace the change, embrace the fourth industrial revolution, and kind of see life from a future forward perspective?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you try to bend a tree that has already hardened, it will break. But then if you do that to something to a small tree that's still growing, that's still coming up, you can actually twist it. So I'm saying we should start with the young people, start with the generation of today, the 5-year-olds, the toddlers, everyone, the teenagers. Talk to them, inspire them, show them that this is the future, this is what's happening, and you can't stay behind, you can't stay in the 19th century, because the 21st century is already passing by, and new trends are being born, and the technology is drastically expanding. So yes, it starts with the children in schools, just raising awareness, talking to them, showing them the great thing, and that have so much potential in the future and in the present.
Very true. And just to follow up on that, how best do you believe we should shape the minds of future innovators, especially in under-resourced communities?
Right. Under-resourced communities. That's actually something that has also been bothering me so much. But then we're saying that we can actually go to those communities, right? And actually, because some people still think that learning or going to school is all about reading books and just being stuck to the books. And some people don't even have the books; they have underdeveloped classrooms. So I'm saying that we can actually try to inspire those people in rural areas, or in the those people who are disadvantaged. We just pay visits and just give them, if you can give something, just give. And also try to make low cost things, like maybe phones, for example, a cell phone. You can actually make a solar powered cell phone, because the issue of online learning, we can actually there's the issue of online learning, and those people in disadvantaged areas, they really don't know much about that. So it starts with the low cost. Let's talk about our low cost. Start from this, start from the bottom, and actually show them the way, because we can start from the top. And yes, that's the basic thing.
No, that's very true. And just on the topic of research and energy sustainability, what are some of the pressing issues that you believe need to be addressed, and how can youth get involved in research to address these challenges?
All right. My number one issue would be the issue of decarbonizing. Yes, people, of course, some people don't believe that there's something called climate change, there's something called there's carbon in the atmosphere. So decarbonizing is something that we really need to look at, and just push for, and then engaging in research. Research is not always about going on Google and maybe just looking for searching a word up. It's way beyond that. So research starts within your community where you are. Talk to the people around you, because those people are the ones. They are the ones who really need the change. They are the ones who really want things to change. So talk to them, include them in whatever you do. You do your research, whether it's school related or it's your personal projects. Just include them, because they know what they're facing. They know the challenges. So just talking to them, and also the issue of decarbonizing, just trying by all means to use less fossil fuels, and trying to develop new ideas. So yes, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. We have some questions in the chat. There's a question that's coming from Donald. It says, Mr. Blessed, what are the programming languages used for AI and robotics precisely?
For robotics, that would be the use of blocks and JavaScript. So those are the main languages that have used in the robotics precisely.
Okay, thank you. And the other question from the chat is from Victor. It says, Blessed, what is your picture on the future of energy?
Uh, the future of energy. I really think that the future is really going to be bright. I think that energy is going to be something that's going to be there. It's going to be very common that no one will actually say we don't have much energy because we're trying to develop new ideas. Take for example the electric step. That's something that's being reborn, and we can, if people take it seriously, this can actually take us a step further because you're saying it's not working on its own. You're saying the electric step working in hand with hydroelectricity, working in hand with the solar energy. So we can actually create something that's a power grid that's based on all these aspects and just working together to make the future brighter.
No, thank you so much for an enlightening conversation, Blessed, and taking us through your work and your journey through STEM. Really appreciated your mention of how much youth can be involved in shaping the future and how being under resourced doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot make things happen. So thank you so much for such an engaging and insightful time. We really appreciated you having here, and thank you to everyone who asked your questions.